Yummy.
All right, can you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening. Tonight is Tuesday, April 25th. It's close enough to 7:30.
No, it's actually pretty good.
We just came from executive session where we talked about PBA Contract Negotiations. And this is the first one in a while we haven't had any public hearings.
That's true.
It feels a little strange. We're just moving straight into resolutions. All right. So moving into our resolutions. Resolution number 1, considering modification to the fiscal year 2022-23 budget.
Now therefore be it resolved that the following general fund budget transfer be approved to transfer unassigned fund balance to the committed designated for capital projects fund balance. And there's a transfer from one fund to the other in the amount of $1.5 million.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second,
So
please?
moved.
Second.
And again, I think this is just keeping everything.
This is actually, so this is actually what's planned in the budget.
Right.
And this is, what we're doing is we're taking funds that that are currently in the designated for capital projects fund balance. We're increasing it into that account, and we're taking it from the unassigned fund balance, and that's what's going to help fund the capital projects for next year, as indicated in the tentative budget and soon-to-be adopted budget.
Great. Any questions or comments?
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino? Yes. Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 2, and how appropriate, moving from the previous budget to the future one. Considering adoption of the Village of Rybrook 2023-24 annual budget.
Great. And I'm going to read that. So the first, and the reason for that order is because you couldn't adopt this budget without doing that transfer first to set the funds up for that transfer. So, whereas the village administrator filed the tentative budget on March 20th, and whereas the Board of Trustees held 2 budget work sessions on March 27th and April 10th, and whereas the Board of Trustees held a public hearing on April 11th pursuant to the notice of public hearing on the tentative budget, giving the public an opportunity to comment on that tentative budget, and the public hearing was then closed on the same evening. And whereas on January 25th, the Board of Trustees adopted a local law allowing for homestead-based proportions, and whereas on February 16th, 2023, the Town of Rye adopted the homestead-based proportions that are listed in the tentative budget. It's basically 77.94 and 22.055 for non-homestead for the 2023-24 tax levy. And whereas on March 14th, 2023, the Board of Trustees concurred with those numbers with the Town of Rye. And whereas the total assessed value for the village tax purposes is $3,269,081,613, and based upon the amendments made by the board and discussed at the budget work sessions and the public hearing, would result in a homestead tax rate of $5.2258 and a non-homestead tax rate of 8.6229 per $1,000 of assessed valuation, and the tax rate blended is 5.7231. And whereas the Board of Trustees authorizes the receiver of taxes to collect the property taxes necessary to raise the required $18,709,381 tax levy based upon the most updated assessment roll provided by the assessor. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees makes the following amendments to the tentative budget and are hereby adopted. And there's a listing of the various changes that were made by the board or discussed by the board in the work sessions. In summary, there's an increase in revenues for the tennis court rentals. There's an increase in expenditures for AJP, Human Resources, Police Department, Lieutenant salary, and change in the police and a reduction in the Police Department overtime. Also, taxes on property was adjusted up a little bit. Capital projects, there's also the project was added to start the process to design the new replacement of the 2001 Spartan engine. And there's a whole series of fee schedule amendments which are listed in the resolution. And be it further resolved that the tentative budget is hereinafter set forth and amended by the Board of Trustees is hereby adopted as the annual budget for the Village of Rybrook for the fiscal year beginning June 1st, 2023. And be it further resolved that the capital projects identified in the adopted budget are hereby established and funded for the total amount of $1,516,800. That's $1,516,800. And be it further resolved the amounts listed therein for payment of principal and interest on indebtedness, and that maintenance account charges identified in the budget be paid, and that the salaries, wages, benefits, and other terms and conditions of employment for all employees, including those not represented by a bargaining unit, shall be paid such salaries and benefits as has been determined by the Board of Trustees. And be it further resolved that the village board does hereby authorize a tax levy for the sum of $18,709,381 for general, capital, and special maintenance account funds, which, based upon the town of Rye assessable tax roll for the village of Rybrook and applying the homestead-based proportions to determine the tax rates, would result in a homestead tax rate of $5.20.2258 and non-homestead tax rate of 8.6229 per thousand of assessed valuation.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion second, please?
So moved.
Second.
I think we've said this a number of times, but a lot of hard work went into this budget. We certainly thank Chris, Trish, everybody involved, Lawrence, and, and all the department heads. Again, this was a tough year. And, this represents a budget that is within the tax cap, which is an arbitrary number, and an unfunded mandate.
I had that discussion with certain political leaders this past week.
I can only imagine where. And I know. And it's, and it came with hard decisions, but this is, it provides the services to the residents of Rybrook. And I just, want to thank everyone involved in this process and the department heads and everyone who works for the village. Because it's hard to operate under these tight conditions, but it's great knowing that the same levels of service will be provided to our residents that they've come to expect, and that's really what we're about. Any other comments? I know we're kind of...
I think you spoke very eloquently.
No, very good.
And I was able to share the board's comments to all the staff members, saying how much everyone appreciates all the teamwork and hard work that went into it. So
course.
everybody said to say thank you very much for those comments. They appreciate it.
Yeah, we understand it's not easy. We understand it's a tough condition. Hopefully we get some other stuff coming on the rolls.
Sounds good.
Hopefully we get some hotels reopening.
Sign up for that.
That would be great. So, all right.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Molino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you to everybody. Resolution number 3, considering accepting various donations for the Rybrook 2023 Fitness Initiative Together Fit program.
Whereas the Village of Rybrook has been preparing a 2023 Fitness Initiative Together program to support community wellness, and whereas the FIT program kicked off with a Zumba class on April 15th and a 5K walk on April 22nd, which will be followed by additional fitness and wellness events and programs throughout the year, and whereas the Westchester Medical Center wishes to donate $2,500 as a title sponsor, and AgeWell New York wishes to donate $2,500 as a title sponsor, Greenwich Hospital wishes to donate $1,000 as a participating sponsor, Houlihan Lawrence wishes to donate $1,000 as a participating sponsor, Brook Rehab wishes to donate $500 as a participating sponsor, Soul Cycle also wishes to donate 25 fitness passes worth $38 each for a total of $950. Sport Tech wishes to donate 5 gift certificates worth $20 each for a total of $100. And Loria Levitan of 5 Dorchester Drive wishes to donate 2 signs for the 5K event. And whereas the Board of Trustees, as directors of the Friends of Rybrook, are interested in accepting these donations to offset expenses for its 2022 Rybrook Fitness Program, FIT program. Now, further be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rybrook, acting as Board of Directors of the Friends of Rybrook, hereby accepts those donations totaling $7,550 to offset expenses for the 2023 Rybrook Fitness Initiative Together program. And there's a listing of those amounts and the sponsorship levels that I just read before. And be it further resolved that the mayor and administrator are authorized to sign any documents necessary to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second?
Second.
Just as a quick question, with the non-monetary donations, so like the passes and the gift certificates, are those, how do we?
They're still donations, so just what we receive equipment, we've received, people have donated equipment and other things. So those are just donated towards the event, and then they're given out. So,
Okay, so,
For instance, the sign sheet, we asked her how much it was worth, and she
Yeah.
gave us the number.
So we got
it
the
was
value.
more just like the fitness passes for Soul Cycle. How do we determine who's,
Who gets them?
yeah,
They did.
they did.
It was pretty much first come, first served.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Perfect,
They did it at the event.
perfect.
And just,
Okay.
there's one typo in there on the last whereas, it should just say 2023.
I just didn't know if Greg was going to be at Pine Ridge Park again with people hoarding him, trying to get the,
Like the baseball cards?
Use the speed gun.
okay, all right. All right, thank you. Any questions or comments?
Nope.
I thought the events so far have been great events. I participated in the Fit Walk, not the Zumba, but I participated in the Fit Walk, and I was pleasantly surprised at the number of people that were there, considering the weather was a little bit iffy, but it held off, and it was a really nice walk. And I got to reconnect a little bit with someone who I went to school with, so.
Wow, congrats.
And I would like to thank Trustee Epstein for doing a great job.
Yes, yes.
You're here.
Sorry, I meant to say that as I was looking at her the entire time, but didn't actually say that. So thank you.
It's okay, thank you.
We all do.
Thank you for
Thank you.
participating, and I know that those of you that could not make it were there in spirit, and we'll come to the next one on November 4th.
Well, I'm busy
Oh,
that day.
November 4th?
November 4th, yeah, we're having two this year.
Oh, that's my
Right.
parents' weekend. I can't come.
All right.
Well, you
I
came to the
think-
last one, so I understand completely.
It was
No
so
worries.
fun. It was such a great event.
You did a
Trustee
great
Epstein?
job.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 4, considering accepting a donation of used Apple equipment for use by the Rybrook seniors.
Whereas Pamela Jaffe of 109 Lincoln Avenue is offered to donate an iPad, 3 iPad minis, and 2 iPhones with an estimated value of between $500 and $600 to the AJP Center for the use by the Rybrook seniors. And whereas our senior coordinator and deputy clerk, Liz Roadfeld, has expressed interest in receiving the used donated equipment for use by the Rybrook seniors at AJP, now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby, as acting as the Friends of Rybrook, hereby accepts the donation of 1 iPad, 3 iPad minis, and 2 iPhones with an estimated total value of between $500 and $600 from Pamela Jaffe for use by the Rybrook seniors at AJP.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
I'd like to thank Town Councilwoman Jaffe for this generous donation. I'm sure Liz will find a great way to make use of them. And
She will. That she
Exciting.
will.
Any other questions, comments?
No. Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 5, considering an agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Cloudpermit for a digital permit and inspection software system.
Whereas the Village of Rybrook seeks to purchase an online permitting and inspection software system to streamline the permit application and inspection process for various village departments, and whereas the village administrator, acting building inspector, and superintendent of public works engineering recommends the village select Cloudpermit to provide an online permit and inspection system primarily for the building department, but can be used by all village departments. And whereas the Village of Rybrook seeks to enter into a 3-year agreement with Cloudpermit to provide the digital permit and inspection software system for an annual subscription cost of $13,200 with a $1,000 one-time implementation fee. There's also an option for a Laserface interface, which we're examining. And whereas the Village of Rybrook has designated $12,400 in funding as a capital project next year to cover the initial costs associated with implementing this digital permit system, which will result in a minimum transfer needed of $1,800 in fiscal year 23-24. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes Rybrook to enter into an agreement with Cloudpermit for an annual subscription cost of $13,200 effective June 1st, 2023 through May 25th, 2023. With a $1,000, actually that should read for a 3-year agreement, with a one-time implementation fee subject to modifications of the agreement made by council, and be it further resolved, the mayor and administrator are authorized to sign any documents necessary to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second, please?
Second. So Chris, that May 25th, 2023 should be 2026?
Yes.
So he said it, I just wanted to make sure.
And we,
Yeah, we're not going to do this for 1 year.
yeah, no,
If we're going to do it, we need to do it for
well,
a few
for a
years.
few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we talked about this during the budget sessions. I think it'll be very interesting to see how this helps, and I definitely look forward to.
Yeah, so residents are going to be able to sign up, also architects and engineers, residents, anybody can submit applications online. We'll be able to receive payments online. We'll also be able to do inspections, and people will be able to do that. We'll be able to do it with tablets in the field. It says for the building department, but it's an unlimited number of users. So Mr. Nowak in the back there, trying to hide in the back, is going to be using it for his systems, like tree permits or other street opening permits, things like that. We could do it for other types of permits we issue in the clerk's office. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. And this won't start until June 1st, but we want to get all the language and the agreements in place now so we can move forward.
Makes sense. All right. I think we had did we have a motion in a second? Okay.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino, yes. Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 6, considering appointments to the Advisory Council on Parks and Recreation and Technology and Communications Commissions.
Okay, so this is the first appointments to the Advisory Council on Parks and Recreation, and this is resolved that Julie Contrada be appointed, Lisa Benoit, Mary Ellen Nielsen, Nethra Bott, and John Mugno are all appointed or reappointed. And for the appointments of the Technology and Communications Commission, these are also 2 reappointments. That's Paul Fagan and Craig Regano.
Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Good catches to everyone who caught any mistakes, and we apologize to any residents that maybe were misstated on the
Correct.
on the original resolution.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee-
Thank you to all who serve.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 7, considering an agreement with Lightpath for telephone and internet services.
Whereas the Village of Rybrook Village Hall, Fire Department, and Police Department are contracted with Cablevision Lightpath for telephone, voicemail, and internet services, and whereas the current hardware and software systems are outdated and in need of upgrade, and whereas Lightpath has proposed an upgrade to the system that includes the hardware and software necessary and the phones and the internet data, now therefore be resolved that the Village of Rybrook hereby enters into a service agreement with Lightpath for voice over internet protocol, telephone, voicemail, and internet services subject to modification by council, and be it further resolved, the mayor and administrator are authorized to sign and execute any and all necessary documents to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
I almost don't want to say the punchline of this whole thing is that it's a cost savings.
It is a cost savings. And the way the
I don't want it
system
to
works,
go
remember,
away.
we have a master agreement, and then the service agreements then have to be approved individually.
Any questions, comments?
Nope.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 8, considering awarding contract number 2301, buses for various summer camp trips.
Okay, whereas the Village of Rybrook has solicited bids for contract 23-01, buses for various summer camp trips, and these are school buses. And whereas the bid was advertised in Westmore News on March 24th and on 10 a.m. on April 11th, the bids were opened. We received 1 bid from County Coach Corp. in the cumulative amount of $37,275. And now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees has determined the lowest responsible bidder meeting the requirements of the contract is County Coach Corp. for the total bid amount of $37,275, and be it further resolved that the mayor and administrator are authorized to execute and deliver all documents necessary or appropriate to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
So is this separate, do we still get coach buses for some of the?
No, we haven't been, we do get coach buses, but it's underneath the bid amount, so we just go out and we get multiple prices for them.
Okay.
But a lot of the coach bus companies are not around anymore.
Right.
After COVID, a lot of those left. So remember we bid them last year, and I think we got no bids on coach buses. We only got bids on school buses, but now we're doing less of the coach bus trips, so we're
Right, they're not
able
as
to. It's
far.
it's below the amount, so we're able to keep that and just get multiple pricing.
Okay.
In accordance with our financial policy.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments?
No. Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 9, considering rejecting contract number 2303, used bucket truck for the Department of Public Works.
Whereas the Village of Rye Brook has solicited bids for contract 23-03, used bucket truck for the Department of Public Works. And whereas the bid was advertised in Westmore News on March 21st, and whereas on 4:30 on Monday, April 17th, the bids were opened, we received one bid from the Atlantic Truck Works Company in the amount of $103,850. And whereas the Administrator and Superintendent of Public Works determined the bid lacked the required bid bond and also exceeded the funds available for this equipment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees has determined the sole bidder, Atlantic Truck Works, does not meet the requirements because the bid lacked the required bid bond and also exceeded available funds for the equipment. And be it further resolved that the Mayor and Administrator are authorized to execute and deliver all documents necessary or appropriate to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Thank you, Chris. Could I have a motion second, please?
So moved. Second.
So, I know we were looking to do this to try and
Yeah.
see.
Well, we're still going to keep plugging away, but one, that the bid didn't include a bid bond, which is required.
Right.
And the other part, and that's the guaranteed delivery, and the other part is it's over double what we
Right.
budgeted for a used truck.
Do we normally have to approve not approving
Yes.
things?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. To reject bids, you have to
Yeah,
approve
we've done
rejection
it
of bids.
before.
Reject. Did we get a
But
stamp?
normally it's like, of the three, this one's the best, and the other two just sort of fall by the wayside.
We've rejected other bids before where
I-
we've gotten
I-
3 that have.
For
that
funds,
all done-
it's usually because it exceeds the funds
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
David, we should get a reject stamp.
Even if they had the bid bond on this, it would have been exceeding our funds.
We'll hang 'em.
Then- Well, we'll keep trying. All right. Any questions, comments?
No.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 10, considering approval of the minutes for the meeting held on January 24th, 2023.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees approves the minutes for the meeting held on January 24th, 2023.
Potentially, yes, that's a good, can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Reject.
That's a very good question, can I say that?
You could act-
So if we, on the rejection,
Yeah?
if we had all voted no,
we would be buying it.
is that,
Well, not really. It would stall, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the answer is, Michael said, it would be on the next agenda. And the one after that, and the one after that.
You guys,
Hey, Greg.
get with the program.
Greg, there's no resolution for the next one. Is there a resolution?
okay, yeah, there's nothing online. So, we have an add-on resolution, resolution number 11, considering the authorization of funds for the 2023 Memorial Day and any Veterans Day ceremonies to be paid to the American Legion.
Huh? Well, first read the resolution before you talk about it. You have it?
I do have one upstairs, but I'll just...
I think we need.
I can just do it. So
Yeah,
now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees considers authorizing $1,500 for the 2023 Memorial Day and any Veterans Day ceremonies to be paid to the American Legion.
thank you, Chris. Can I have a motion second, please?
Motion.
Second.
And this is the same amount they've requested every year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
We do it for one. Often they ask for different payments from BEAT,
Right.
but the historical practice has always been, we give
One.
them the 15 and they can distribute it for whichever one they want, for whichever event they
Right, if
want.
they're running both the events, all good.
Yep.
Questions, comments?
No.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Fisher? Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino, yes. Mayor Klein?
Yes, thank you. Administrator's report.
Okay, just have a few items. One, I was going to read about the events this weekend, but it sounds like they're up in the air a little bit. Okay, I'll let Greg talk about that. Crawford Park is also going to, and the town of Rye is going to be hosting a Greenworks electric demonstration, and that's to look at some of their electric work, the Greenworks electric equipment. That's going to be on April 28th at 10 a.m. That's open to the public. So if people want to go and see the type of equipment they have, how it works, learn from that process, the town of Rye is hosting an event there. Arbor Day is this Friday at 11 a.m., so that should be a nice event. We're going to be doing it at Harkness Park, along with the Roots and Shoots Club from the Blind Brook High School. So we're looking forward to a nice Arbor Day ceremony. It's a quick event, but it's very nice and a good way to recognize Arbor Day in Rybrook. And the last item I just want to touch on is residents. We've been getting a few calls on this, are getting letters from Sustainable Westchester about the Westchester Power Program.
Yes.
So that's meant to be informational, and what that is doing is that's sending information to the residents about what the current rates are for the, we know what the rates are for the green program that we have, which is the 100% renewable fixed rates. So that's the fixed rate through October 31st, 2024. But what it also in the letter does, it tells the residents what the rates have been for the standard Con Ed rates over the last 12 months as well as the last 3 months on average. So people can make informed decisions. You can stay with the current program, which means it's defaulted into the 100% renewable fixed rate program, and that's, you know what it is, and it's also supporting the environment. Or if you wanted, and you're saying, well, the rates didn't go up as much as people expected or Sustainable Westchester expected, and you want to save a little bit, you can always go back to the Con Ed rates, and it's outlined on that letter how to opt out or to change the supply type. You can do it online, through an email, or through a phone number. So there's 3 different ways of doing that. But if people want to make that choice, you can do that. And just remember, with this program, there's one of the benefits is if you opt out and opt back in, there's no fees, there's no penalties. There will be a lag in time for the process to catch up. Once you make the change, it won't be immediate, but there is no contract, there is no exit fees, there is no penalties. So you can go out or come back in again, and that's an easy enough process to do, but people are starting to get that letter. And Greg, you want to just touch on those 2 events this weekend? Just feedback on the mic.
Before I do that, I just want to also reiterate my thanks as the board. Okay, so good. Just want to reiterate my thanks for the Fit Walk. Thank you again, Trustee Epstein, for that, and also thank you to our rec department as well as our public works for helping to make the event successful, as well as all of our sponsors for providing the funds. I do want to give a special shout out to Stretch. Trustee Epstein and I got a very nice
Stretch
demo.
Lab.
Yeah, Stretch Lab, thank you. Definitely needed that stretch, and they are opening in Rye Ridge Shopping Center in July, and I wish them much success and fortune. But in terms of the 2 events, so I was just communicating actually recently an hour ago with the town of Rye regarding at least the senior planting at AJP. So there are a variety of different sites. I know that the Village of Mamaroneck is participating, as well as the town of Rye and the city of Rye. In the Village of Portchester, our site, as was this year, as was last year, was the AJP Senior Center to plant some native palm-friendly plants. But unfortunately, it seems that Saturday there'll be enough rain for us to take a bath outside. And Sunday may not be any better. So as of right now, from the information I have, I know this is not a good answer, but it's definitely not going to happen Saturday. It may happen Sunday morning, but tomorrow I'll get a final answer if maybe it'll have to be postponed. But as of now, at the time it is now Sunday morning, but tomorrow that could change. So I just wanted to give that update to anyone who would be interested in coming. But when we do have it, the planting, please, if you are interested in either immediate service hours or you want to plant some again, native pollinator-friendly plants, please come out and do so. And the seed exchange, I'll have to communicate with Sustainability Chair Bridget Dix because it was also planned for Saturday, but I'm assuming they won't be able to do it either. Fortunate news. But
I will send an email blast out to the community, letting people know, the final decisions and any alternate dates.
No, it looks 90% chance of rain on Saturday.
Yes.
Did you ever hear from the principal about the sophomore circus?
Sunday is still the point.
No.
Right, 40% I
What
know.
is with that woman?
Actually, they don't show any rain on Sunday on my thing.
All right, so the next Meetings of the Board of Trustees are May 9th and May 23rd. Thank you and have a good night.
All right.